welcome to another edition of the Verde Valley Experience. I'm your host, Jennifer Cohen. Thank you so much for joining us today. Now that summer is winding down and school has officially started, safety, education, and school athletics are on the forefront of everyone's minds. So you're in luck. On today's show, we're going to provide you with interesting information about all those things. Our first guest today is The Spot, a children's museum, which provides a unique and meaningful program and exhibits for all children that educate them in the concepts of their world and build lifelong interest in learning. Sounds awesome. You haven't heard of this one? You're going to want to listen. Offering a dynamic, constantly evolving museum format that incorporates all the day-to-day facets of life, specifically related to science, technology, engineering, and math, with a strong focus on the history and culture of the local area. Judy L. Paris, the founder and president, will be in the studio with us to tell us all about this little museum in Prescott. It's truly amazing, so you're going to want to be here for that. High school athletic programs are often run on a tight budget. We all know that. Schools can only do what their budget allows. But for many athletic programs, booster clubs offer a way to bring more money into the program. Mingus Union High School football has the Red Dot Booster Club. Now, the Red Dot does what the district cannot by providing the kids and the parents what they need during each football season. Frank Vaca, the president of the Red Dot Booster Club, will share with us all the ways that the Red Dot Club does good in our community and how you too can get involved. And then we'll take some trips today. We're going to take a trip up to Sedona and visit the Seuss Room at the Alt Gallery at Hillside, Sedona, to view their impressive collection of the works of Dr. Seuss. Owner Mark Schrader will show us around and shed a little light on the childlike genius mind of Dr. Seuss, a must for any true fan. Then we'll head back down to Cottonwood for a very educational visit with the Verde Valley Ambulance Company. Chief Kim Moore takes us on a tour inside the ambulance where we'll discuss what to expect should you ever need a visit from the Verde Valley Ambulance Company. They're the EMTs or the paramedics. You're going to have all the information you need to know to handle that situation. And we'll finish out our show today with Larry and Leslie Latour. Now, these folk, rock, blues, country singer-songwriters from the heart of Maine just recently uprooted their 3 dogs and 5 cats and resettled here in Rimrock, Arizona. We are so pleased to finally have them here in the Verde Valley, and you'll get a chance to hear what these guys are all about if you stick around, so I recommend it. So we're going to get started. My first guest today is Judy L. Paris, who is the president and founder of The Spot, a children's museum. Thank you, Judy, for being here.
Well, thank you. We're super excited to share this extraordinary project.
It is truly amazing. Now, when did you start the Children's Museum?
We began in 2007 and 8 when we developed our corporation. We're a 501c3 nonprofit. And from there, we just continued to build and grow and blossom, and we're busy.
Wow,
we're very busy.
I bet. And you're run mostly by volunteers, aren't you?
We are run completely by volunteers.
Oh, wow.
Many, many hours of volunteering.
I bet.
Yes.
I bet. And you're located in the Prescott Gateway Mall. Open Friday and Saturday from 1 to 5.
And we have just added Sunday from 1:30 to 4:30.
Congratulations.
Thank you. We've had so many requests to be open more, but that requires more volunteers, and we did get a couple extra. So
oh, good. Well,
you know, every time we get a few more volunteers, we can do a few more programs and other special events.
Now tell us about the programs at The Spot.
Sure. Basically, The Spot is set up to be a STEM-based science museum with a focus on arts, history, and culture as it relates to STEM, which you've already identified. What we do in the museum is we have individual gallery space. It's very small. It's the old cooking time if people are familiar with the Prescott Gateway Mall. So we believe we're cooking with kids and families now to develop those minds for the future. We have exhibit areas that focus on the physics of the world. So in each of the areas we have a special topic, such as gears, magnets, robots, air, light, music, sound. And there are activities related to STEM with an art base as well, so kids can create and investigate hands-on activities.
Oh, very good.
And we require that they come with an adult because it's important for adults to play and learn as well.
Absolutely.
We should never stop.
Oh, and play with your kids.
So
for sure.
Yes. In addition to the open hours of the museum with the exhibits, we do conduct special activities. We just finished a 5-night series in July, Night at the Museum.
Ooh.
It was our Summer Science Spectacular, and we covered a different topic of science each night. So that was to sold-out crowds. We had to turn people away, which is sad but exciting. It means it's working and people know about us.
Yeah, that is truly, truly amazing. And you've got your newest exhibit, Quantum Quizzics. It's so cute. Hands-on science for inquisitive kids. It's important to keep the kids inquisitive.
Yes.
And science is so fascinating. And the hands-on aspect of this museum is wonderful. Kids get bored real quick if you look at a few pictures and that's about it. But the fact that they can play with the things and experience is truly wonderful. What made you decide or have the desire to open a children's museum, Judy?
Well, my background is in education, and once I retired, I knew I didn't want to give up that piece of me to work with kids and families and continue to develop our area. It's so important for us to develop the 21st century learners and workers. The workforce is going to change so dramatically that adults currently can't even imagine the challenges and things that future generations will have to do. So I started visiting children's museums after I retired and thought, we should definitely have one in northern Arizona, and it's the perfect place to do it in the Prescott region because we have access to mentors and experts, universities, the hospital. There's so much there that can help contribute to the development.
That's great.
And when we define kids, they are ages 2 to 90. If you're over 90, you can get in free, and we have had several.
Excellent.
So it's not only the children that play, the kids that we define are 2 to 90. We have adults that don't want to leave.
Oh yeah, I bet, for sure.
And that's the whole point of science and art.
And it's a wonderful thing you can do with your kids. It's not expensive. It's only $3 per person. I mean, where else can you go for $3 a person?
Right, but basically that is our revenue stream. We do depend on donations and other contributions, as well as admission to our special programs and events that we have held.
Do you have any upcoming events in the next couple of months?
We are considering holding another Night at the Museum series, but we're all volunteers, so it just depends on how much we can pull off and how many nights we're all available. So that for sure. We'd like to bring back our Science Cafe feature, which was programming for adults, where we bring in specialists, experts, scientists, engineers, artists, to speak to adults about what their research is about, what their projects are, have a conversation with an expert.
Wow, that's truly fascinating. Education for adults too, and fun. Adults need to play too.
It is fun. We do birthday parties.
Really?
We've had an adult party there, which has some restrictions, but they did want to come and play and do magnets and all the other quantum quizzics, which is a trademark trade name that we have designed. So that's ours. We made that up and we're keeping it.
That's adorable. Can you describe that exhibit to us?
Yes, quantum quizzics is to us the power and energy of the world and learning about it by using your main power source, which is your mind and your body, to make things work and think about things and discover things and build things and create. So in each of the exhibit areas, like I said, it's divided up by a specific topic, and the activities are focused on STEM and the arts. So for example, in our sound area, we have a model of a human ear, so kids will know the anatomy. We also have a music program where they can create some of their own music. And then various instruments from around the world. So you bring in that history and culture. And then there is a feature where they can make their own instrument, which is more of the artistic design. So we just think that scientists are artists in their own regard, and artists are scientists. So we just do it all.
Well, that is truly, truly amazing. Now, how many volunteers do you have at this moment? Do you know?
Well, we have 8 people on our board. 8. And then we have 5 more that help run the museum and do the programs.
That's amazing.
But we've been very lucky to hook up with Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University. We've started using some students to help with our programming. We did a science festival last March. More of a carnival style, but instead of booths for tossing the rings or, hitting the hammer and ringing the bell, we had lots of science experiments. And the students from Embry-Riddle ran the booths for us.
Wow, that's great.
We also have a connection with the University of Arizona. They've provided us a person to work the floor on some days.
Wow,
so
that's
we're
fantastic.
Growing, we're moving.
That's wonderful, but you could always use more volunteers.
We could.
If someone wanted to volunteer, what is the best way to get in touch with you?
Actually, they could go on our website if that's available to them.
And there is spotmuseum.org.
Correct. And there is an application, and then there is the name of our volunteer coordinator, Eileen Bond, who's also a board member, but she's our volunteer coordinator, and she helps train and get people ready to work the floor.
Nice. That's wonderful. What kind of duties would you expect to be doing if you volunteered at the museum?
Well, the first part of the training is to learn how all the equipment works.
Sure.
Not that you have to do any demos or anything, but you have to help along if somebody isn't sure how to turn something on or make it go. And just really keeping an eye on the museum, making sure people are enjoying themselves and know how to get around the various activities, and then there's a cleanup process, of course.
Absolutely. Well, if you're interested in volunteering at the Spot Child's Museum, which is at the Gateway Mall in Prescott, you just go onto the website, thespotmuseum.org. It's got everything that you need to know. Plus, the website itself is great. Whoever does your website design does a beautiful job. Does a beautiful job.
She is a social media specialist, and she developed our Facebook, Twitter,
That's great.
Pinterest.
That's great. Yeah, you guys have wonderful marketing.
Yes.
I love this amazing donation form.
Yes.
Hint, hint.
Yes.
Run by donations that says the Spot, a child's museum. Imagine a day without science.
It's not
possible. It wouldn't exist. It is not possible.
No.
That is true. Everything is science.
Everything.
Yes.
Everything.
Now, your background in teaching, did you teach science?
I did not.
No.
Well, I guess, you teach everything when you teach, but not
true.
Specifically a science subject, no.
Wow.
I taught high school literature.
Oh, that's science. It's a science.
It
It's
is a
high
science.
school kids.
And then I taught early childhood.
Wow.
But I was also an administrator. I was a director of special ed and a regional superintendent before I retired for the state of Arizona.
How about all that?
I
Well,
had fun,
more than well qualified.
But now I'm having a lot of fun.
I bet. Well, thank you for sharing your gifts.
Sure.
And you're making such an impact on the children in Prescott. And now if I go to Prescott with my daughter, who's the perfect age for your museum,
yes.
I will definitely be bringing her along. I mean, it's finding wholesome, healthy things to do with your children. Inexpensive, $3 admission.
Right.
That's super important, and you've provided that. So thank you so much for that. We hope we can get you some volunteers. Thespotmuseum.org. You want to go ahead and check that out. And just your pictures are wonderful.
Thank
you. It looks
you.
like so much fun.
It is fun. We hope everybody who's listening and watching will try it out, even if they don't have children in their home.
Yeah,
I'm sure
truly.
that they have grandchildren or neighbors. But stop by and see what we're doing, because our hope is that this would be a regional science center with laboratories, planetarium, a place where truly scientists and artists can come and show their work and mentor the future.
Wow.
It's important.
It is important to mentor the future. It really is. Judy, thank you so much.
Sure.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for starting and having the vision for the Spot, a child's museum. Check it out. It's at the Gateway Mall in Prescott. Let me find those hours for you. We have Friday and Saturday from 1 to 5 and Sundays
1:30 to 4:30.
1:30 to 4:30. Super duper awesome. Thespotmuseum.org. I'm going to be there.
Yes. Good. As long as your daughter is between 2 and 90, you're good to go.
I think I shall forever be good at this point. Do you have a favorite machine, real quick, a favorite little demo to do?
I think our air table, is amazing. It was designed by a science teacher and an engineer. They made it out of recycled items.
Wow.
But it shows how powerful air is, and you can put all different objects on it to see how they work.
Well, there we go. Well, check out the air table at the Spot, Child's Museum at the Gateway Mall in Prescott. Judy L. Paris, thank you so much for being
you're
here.
welcome.
Really
Thanks so
appreciate you.
much.
And we'll be right back with more of the Verde Valley Experience, so don't go away.
Hey, it's Ava, and this is Tess from Do It Your Selfie, where we recreate the hottest looks from today's biggest music videos.
After cleaning out our closet, we have a lot of clothes we don't wear anymore.
Like this old pile of t-shirts.
It's not garbage, it's actually a new rug.
And to make it, all you need to do is cut, tie, and glue.
Cut the t-shirt into strips.
Tie the strips into knots.
And glue the knots to the bath mat. I love it. Give your garbage another life.
And recycle.
Orkin has pest control down to a science.
When your business chooses Orkin's Precision Protection Program, you get a tailored pest control program for your specific industry and environment.
Your business can benefit from over a century of experience, training, and scientific knowledge that define the Orkin man.
Maximum protection, minimum exposure, backed by one of the industry's most comprehensive guarantees.
Choose your locally owned and operated Northern Arizona Orkin and get more than an exterminator. Get an expert.
Welcome back to the Verde Valley Experience. Our next guest is Frank Vaca, who is the president of the Red Dot Booster Club, who benefits the Mingus Union High School Marauders. Hooray! And other teams too, right? It's not just that team?
That's just Mingus football.
It is just Mingus football. Okay, we got to specialize here. Awesome. Frank, thank you so much for being here.
Oh, thank you for having me, Jennifer.
Yeah,
appreciate it.
Now tell us about the Red Dot Booster Club. You guys have been in existence for a while now.
Probably about 25 years.
Yeah.
It was actually started by the coaches at one time as just a means to generate more funds for the program. And some of us parents came along about 15 years ago and said, the coaches shouldn't be doing this, it should be us. Mm-hmm. They have enough to worry about, their teachers, their coaches. Let us worry about the Booster Club. So we've been running it basically for the last 15 years.
Wow, that's awesome. Have you personally been involved for the past 15 years?
Just about, yeah.
Wow.
I don't remember when I started, but it's been about that long.
Well, that's great. Well, tell us, what does the Red Dot Booster Club do specifically for Mingus football?
Well, what we do is we do a number of fundraisers every year, all with the purpose of helping the cost of running a football program, helping the parents defray some of their expenses. And now with the schools, we understand that the funding isn't there for a lot of extracurricular activities, so we do the best we can to make sure our student athletes have what they need to play football.
It's very expensive to play football. I think the average cost is somewhere between $300 and $500 a player for a season.
That's correct.
That's a lot.
As of yet, Mingus does not have pay for play. So we try to pick that up with what we do, and we've been successful in the past, thankfully because of the community we live in.
Sure, absolutely. You guys have done really well with sponsors.
Yes, that's one of our two major fundraising events every year is the sponsorships, which is part of our football program. Mm-hmm. That generates anywhere from $12,000 to $15,000 a year.
Wow.
And again, as I said, the community and the businesses and the individuals are just fantastic when it comes to supporting our youth.
Sure. Yeah. Like I said, there's a lot involved in it. I mean, of course, you have uniforms and you have equipment, but then there's food. You don't think about it, but these guys got to eat, and they get bag lunches on the away games. They get food afterwards. You take very good care of the players.
Right. Again, we don't want the parents or the players to have to worry about that. Mm-hmm. So, as you said, on every away game, they leave with a lunch and they're fed after the game. Then every Saturday morning when the team assembles to watch films from the previous night's game, we make breakfast for them. That's really? A father thing.
Oh, how fun.
So for however many games we have a year, 10, 12, they have breakfast every Saturday.
Wow, they are well fed. That's pretty awesome. Now, who provides the food?
Basically, the Red Dot Club will purchase the food.
Wow.
There have been times when stores will donate food throughout for the season, mm-hmm. and that's again been very helpful. But if it's not donated, we'll buy it.
Wow.
We want them to eat well and have a good breakfast.
Absolutely. Geez, that's truly amazing. A lot of food and growing young men. I mean, I'm sure they eat a lot.
They eat quite a bit. There's some big boys.
I bet. Wow, that's awesome. Now, if anyone wants to donate their time or perhaps their funds or perhaps some food to the Red Dot Booster Club program, should they give you a call?
Yes. You can call me on my cell phone. Mm-hmm. I don't mind at all taking Red Dot Club numbers, calls, and my number is 928-301-1145 for sponsors, for people that want to donate, people that want to just help out.
Sure.
We always need volunteers to man concession stands, take part in our fundraisers.
Mm-hmm.
So
Sure. Well, that would be fun, manning the concession stand.
you don't have to have a student athlete in the program. We're more than happy to take help from anybody.
That's wonderful. Do you have any specific needs at this time as football season gets underway right now? What are you lacking? What do you need?
Right now, probably, as we talked about earlier, the donations for breakfasts, if we can get that, or even our concession stand, or basically just manpower.
Sure.
That's important. We have a number of dedicated parents, but all our various committees, there's a lot of people involved, and it takes a lot of time. So if anyone would like to just donate some time, we'd love it.
Sure, I bet. And as far as running the concession stands, the games start next week for the concession stands?
Actually, our first home game is August 21st.
August 21st, excellent.
And we'll have, I believe, 6 home games, but we also have freshman home games, which are on Wednesday. And so we open the concession stand for all of them.
Okay.
And hopefully we need a lot of volunteers because, that means we have a big crowd. It means we have a lot of support.
Right,
So,
yeah.
and they deserve it. The kids work hard.
Oh, absolutely. And that's what the Red Dot Booster Club does. It supports the kids. It's for the kids, getting them and allowing them to have what they need to play football.
That's correct. We do whatever Coach Young thinks we need. We try to help, whether it's the food, their off-season shirts, shorts, trips to California for the 7-on-7 passing leagues.
Wow.
If we have to pay for transportation, food, accommodations, we do whatever we need to do to lessen the burden on the families and, of course, the school.
Well, sure. Yeah, when you're talking thousands of dollars here, you're not talking pennies.
No, we usually generate upwards of $30,000 a year, and
Wow.
it's all spent.
Wow. Well, congratulations. You're doing an excellent job. That's
Right.
really, really amazing. If you want to get involved in the Red Dot Booster Club, check them out online. If you type it in, a lot of great articles come up. And, of course, you're being interviewed in every single one of them. And there's lots of them. And they're all really interesting and great. And you can check them out on Facebook. The Mingus Marauders have a Facebook page, but the Red Dot Booster Club also has their own Facebook page. And you can also give Frank a call at 928-301-1145. Get out there and volunteer for your kids. As you said, you don't have to have a kid in the program. Running a concession stand is a lot of fun. If you haven't tried it, I highly recommend it. So give Frank a call for that. Frank, thank you very, very much for the work that you're doing.
Right.
I know the kids just adore you and couldn't do it without you.
Well, I love being out with the kids and with the coaches, so I appreciate you having me on.
Sure. Awesome. Thank you so much. Frank Vaca, who is the president of the Red Dot Booster Club. Thank you. Thank you. And we'll be right back with more of the experience, so don't go away.
If you don't fix them, sparks from dragging tow chains could cause a wildfire, and that could be scary.
Hi, Smokey.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
I love taking care of my mom. It wasn't easy at first. She learned how to better communicate her needs.
And you learned how to not ignore yours.
I discovered how to make healthier meals.
And I discovered how much I enjoyed them.
Becoming a caregiver is a learning experience for everyone. Find articles, tips, and tools from experts and others who have been in your place. the Caregiving Resource Center at aarp.org/caregiving.
And welcome back to the Verde Valley Experience. We are now here at Hillside, Sedona at the Alt Gallery with owner Mark Schrader. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Letting us in. We are in the Dr. Seuss room. Yes, now Alt Gallery has wonderful contemporary arts, oil paintings and glass and beautiful things for museum quality folks. But did you know there's a special room with over 40 pieces of Dr. Seuss's art, and that is here. It's awesome. You guys are an authorized dealer of the art of Dr. Seuss.
Yes, that's correct.
That is really, really cool. Tell me about that. That's quite an honor.
Well, it is indeed, and it certainly makes a lot of people happy. There's a lot of Dr. Seuss fans out there, and they love to come in here and see all the artwork that's available. They're all limited editions from his estate. It was a program set up by his widow at his specific request, so his artwork would be out there and available to the public.
Right.
And there's a whole catalog of available pieces, and it's a really well-run program.
Absolutely, and the pieces that you have are very varied, if you can say that, and they're amazing. They're prints, but they look absolutely real. I'm totally impressed with the ones that look like somebody sketched it. And it's a really fine example of how Dr. Seuss worked. And that's a funny name, Dr. Seuss. I mean, his real name was Theodore Seuss Geisel.
That's correct.
And it's so interesting. There's so much information about him out there, and I know that you know quite a bit about him. What would you like to tell us?
Well, I've certainly learned quite a bit over the several years of selling the artwork, and that you know, Dr. Seuss was a pseudonym, as you say, but it came about so that he could have his artwork continue on in the college magazine when he had got in trouble with the dean. So he, instead of signing it Ted Geisel, he signed it Dr. Theophrastus Seuss, and that way he was able to continue to have his artwork published in the college paper.
Really? Sneaky.
Yeah.
Well, that's amazing.
He was a bit of a practical joker.
I bet. And he started his career in the 1920s, as an editorial cartoonist.
Well, he began as a cartoonist. He had originally thought of being a university professor, an English professor, and so that's part of where the doctor part came from, is he would have gotten his doctorate and that. But then he went to school in Dartmouth, and then he went to England and went to Oxford, and that's where he met his first wife, Helen, and she encouraged him to go into cartooning because she had seen a lot of his doodles and things like that, and thought that one of them was a mighty fine flying cow. And that, so he went back to New York City and began doing freelance cartoon work, and then actually that led into becoming a very successful advertising person, where he created advertising campaigns using his own, you know, Seussian type characters.
Huh. Wow.
And that's actually where some of the unorthodox taxidermy pieces.
Right, the unorthodox taxidermy. Very, very interesting stuff. You have to definitely have a sense of humor to appreciate that.
Truly unique in the art world.
Definitely.
And so some of the fish pieces were all created for the 1936 National Boat Show, which was for Esso Marine. And that was a very extravagant advertising campaign that they had come up for that show. So those date back to the 1930s.
How amazing. He was a particularly prolific fella. I mean, he wrote over 44 children's books, which you have a wonderful collection of here. It's amazing. You can come in and see all the books that I didn't know he wrote.
We do try to keep all the books in stock, and there is a new Dr. Seuss book coming out at on July 29th called Which Pet to Get, which was found in his papers, basically the completed edition except for the final artwork, but the complete book was found in his papers several years ago, and they've decided to publish it as a new Dr. Seuss book. So we'll have that available here as well.
Oh, that is amazing. My favorite one is the 500 Hats of Bartholomew Cubbins, and the second one would be McGilligan's Pool, my daughter. We read that to death. I know that you mentioned you had kids. What's one of your favorites?
Well, Green Eggs and Ham is definitely one of the most popular books, and then The Cat in the Hat. Yeah. And that, but I don't have a personal favorite. I don't think.
It's hard to pick a favorite.
Yeah, some of the lesser known books are people are quite interested to find, because they think, oh, I have every Dr. Seuss book, and then they look here and say, well, I didn't know he wrote this, or when did this come out? And so it's interesting for people to find some of his earlier works that they didn't know about.
Absolutely, and he really hit height of his fame in 1937, and you think, wow, that was a really long time ago, and yet there is not a kid or an adult who does not know who Dr. Seuss is at this point in 2015.
Right, well, he had quite a struggle. I mean, his first book came out in 1937, but he had a tremendous struggle in getting it published, and it was, the story is told that he was rejected by 25 publishers, and he was literally on his way home to burn the manuscript, and he ran into a college friend on the street in New York City, and he said, well, what are you doing? His friend said, oh, I'm the director of juvenile literature for this publisher, and they went directly up to his office, and he looked at the book, and they decided to publish it, and then that's how his children's publishing career began. Wow. Almost didn't happen. Almost didn't happen.
That is amazing. He's got quite a sense of humor, as we can tell. The brain of Dr. Seuss had been such an interesting. His wife must have such stories.
Well, for sure. And his career, he had his cartooning and his illustration work that he did early in his career, and then he actually was in the Army, in the film division of the Army, basically, in World War II. Right. And so they worked on training films for soldiers, and so there's pieces that reflect that sensibility a little bit, and then that's how he became because he's closely identified with La Jolla, California, San Diego area, and so he was an East Coast person, but he was introduced to Southern California during the war, and then he moved there in 1949, and so has been there. And his widow still lives in the same house that they purchased back in 1949. They've expanded a little bit, I think.
And good for her for continuing on with her husband's wishes to have all these things taken care of posthumously, so people can enjoy his art. You can enjoy his art. You can come on down or up or over to the Alt Gallery, which is in Hillside, Sedona. You can also check out the website, which is altgallerysedona.com. Tell us, what are your hours here at the gallery?
10 a.m. to 6, except on Sunday, 11 to 5, and we might get a little late, come in a little late, and we might leave a little early, especially in the quieter months.
Yeah, sure. Sounds good. Mark, thank you so much for having us. Thank you for sharing your love of Dr. Seuss with everyone else who loves Dr. Seuss.
I appreciate the opportunity.
And we'll be right back, so don't go away.
Taking care of a family member can lead to plenty of questions. Fortunately, there's a place to get the answers, for them and for you. Find articles, tips, and tools from experts and others who have been in your place. The Caregiving Resource Center at aarp.org/caregiving.
Taught him how to hit a baseball, how to hit a receiver, the strike zone, the net. You taught him how to hit the upper corner. You even taught him how to hit the open man. But how much time have you spent teaching him what not to hit?
And welcome back to the Verde Valley Experience. We are now here in Cottonwood on Mingus at the Verde Valley Ambulance Station. It's the most amazing place. It's very, very interesting, and we're going to cover as much as we can in the short time that we have. But I'm here with Chief Kim Moore. Thank you so much for letting us come in and giving us a tour and allowing us to film. This is really an honor to be here.
No, we're pleased to have you.
Thank you. Thank you. Now, studies show that every single person in the United States, and including Canada, will call an ambulance at least twice in their lifetime. Now, a lot of anxiety can be relieved for you if you know a little bit about what's going to happen once the EMTs arrive. And Kim, you're willing to talk to us about that, which is awesome, so thank you.
You're welcome.
So tell me, the ambulance rolls up. Actually, let's start. When you call for an ambulance, tell me what happens at that point.
When a person calls for an ambulance, it goes to our dispatch center. Our dispatch center will then dispatch us out. They'll be talking to the patient and finding out what's going on, and at the same time they're dispatching it out. So then we will start really actually going before dispatch has all the information.
Sure.
So that we can get a head start on it. We will run on a call with the fire department as well, so we'll both be going on the call at the same time. So one of us will get there first, and whoever gets there first will go in to see what the situation is.
Sure. Right. So either the fire men if they get there first, or the emergency medical technicians if they get there. And then once the ambulance arrives, what is the protocol for you guys as far as?
We get our gurney, our drug box, and our equipment out, and then we go to the person who's called. The address, we just go inside with all of our stuff.
Sure.
Most of the time we just go with our stuff in so that we're prepared. We have our heart monitor on. On our gurney we have our oxygen, and we have some stuff underneath, like if we need to start an IV, put some oxygen on. We have all that we can do quickly. Plus, the fire department brings their boxes in that has other things in it. So
sure, it's a team effort.
Yes.
Yeah,
it's a big team effort.
Exciting.
We couldn't do it without them.
Absolutely, that's a great partnership. Now, once you are in the ambulance and you're en route to the hospital, what's happening at that point?
En route to the hospital, depending on what's going on with the patient, we will call the hospital and let them know that we're coming. So we patch in, what's called patching in, and let them know that we're bringing a certain aged person with something that's going on. If it's a heart condition, we can actually send the EKG to the hospital, and they will interpret it or tell us we could go to the cath lab, or there's some steps we can take in getting that patient to where they need to go ahead of time.
Sure.
So that's the things we're doing. We're starting an IV, giving them medications, whatever they need.
Sure, sure. So you're getting them stable, you're keeping them comfortable, and you're getting them where they need to go.
Yes.
Which is awesome.
Yes.
Now, what are a couple things that won't happen in an ambulance, besides obviously open heart surgery? I mean, basically the things that not to expect, such as you're not going to probably get there faster, which is a common myth. There's several myths there.
Correct. You probably won't get there faster. You'll get there. While you're getting there, you're getting treatment. So that's what's happening. You're getting treatment. So those few minutes, 5 minutes that it takes to get to the hospital, if you need life-saving measures, you're going to be getting those measures.
Right.
If you're truly not sick, you're not going to probably get into an ER bed. You're probably going to go to the waiting room.
Sure.
So you're not going to be seen quicker if you're not sick. But if you are sick, we can make arrangements en route to take you where you need to go.
Sure, sure.
Quicker. Okay. And plus, the hospital knows we're coming. If we say, hey, this person's full code, they're going to be prepared. They're going to have people there. They're going to have respiratory, all kinds of people there to help when we get there.
Sure. So a couple of the main benefits to calling an ambulance is you have the emergency medical technicians on site assessing you. They're going to get you stable, get you what you need. They're going to deliver the information that's important about your condition to the hospital, keep the doctors informed, be your liaison with your healthcare providers, get you where you need to go, and get you there safely, which is a really, really awesome service. You guys have been doing this for a really long time here in the Verde Valley, since 1971.
Yes.
That is an amazing feat.
Yes.
That's truly, truly awesome. And you said you had something a little bit over 50 folks here who are medically trained and here to help, which is an amazing thing for the community.
Yes.
So that's
yes, and partnering
super.
with the fire department, it makes it even better. They have both of us to help take care of them.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, if somebody wanted to become an EMT or a paramedic, where do they start?
Yavapai College has a great EMT class, and so a lot of people start there, and you have to become an EMT, and then you can become a paramedic. EMT is 1 semester, and then paramedic is, there's different classes, so you can go from 10 months to 18 months and become a paramedic.
Super. I know a lot of young folks, that's a really wonderful field to go into if you like to help people. I mean, you know, saving someone's life is no small feat.
Yes.
And if that's your job.
Yes.
That's pretty awesome. Yes. Have you done ride-alongs in the ambulance? Did you start out as a paramedic? How did you get to be chief?
Yes, I started out as an EMT, and I worked my way up and became the chief. So,
wow,
I'm a paramedic,
fantastic.
And I still go out in the field.
Really?
If we get a lot of calls at the same time, we'll go out as well. I go to classes and keep my skills up. And
that's amazing. Do you do any community demonstrations during the year?
We go to like National Night Out. We do a lot of things. We support a lot of community outreaches, like a lot of things that they have, like big gatherings. We usually have a crew there just on standby. We do a lot of things in Clarkdale and Riverfront Park.
True. Yeah, I'm just thinking about that. At any big function, there's always an ambulance standing by and a crew standing by. So it's really awesome to have that. We're really fortunate to have such a great station here and to have all you guys, Kim, and thank you so much for your efforts. And you guys have a great website. It's really quite lovely. It is verdevalleyambulance.com, is that correct? See, I love it when it's easy. If you want to check that out, and you can see, it's so interesting what's going on and learn about ambulances. And of course, I want to ride in the gurney. I just think that looks like fun.
We can make that happen.
You're going to make that happen?
Yes.
Certainly enough seatbelts on that thing.
Yes,
so.
yes.
So to be informed is definitely going to be your best avenue to take away the nervous jitters and get done what you need to get done if it is time to call the ambulance, if it is time to call 911. And if you have any questions, call 911 anyway. Is that right? If you're sick or you've fallen or somebody you think needs help or something, you can always call 911 and the dispatcher will be able to talk you through it, and if an ambulance is needed, an ambulance will come.
Yes.
So you've got a lot going on between the ambulance, the fire department, and the 911 dispatchers, and of course the police. It's this huge community effort.
Yes.
We're really lucky to have you. Thank you, Kim. Thank you so much for speaking with us today. Chief Kim Moore of the Verde Valley Ambulance Station. Thank you for having us. We'll be right back, so don't go away.
Hey, did you know 2.4 million loving cats and dogs in shelters and rescues need our help to find a home? Let's go to the shelterpetproject.org and meet a few who are in a shelter near you. Harlow, oh, she's one great listener who loves to hear all your stories. My kind of cat. Cerulo is a sweet, goofy boy who's eager to please. Sounds just like another dog I know. So go to the shelterpetproject.org, search your local shelters and rescues, and go for a cuddle with your next best friend. Adopt.
Doesn't see race. Love is love. Hart, what's going on? I'm leaving. Why? What did I do? Not enough. You constantly ignore me. You barely eat anything healthy. You're half as active as you used to be. The pressure is just too much. I quit. Okay, I get it. I'll do better. Just, please, don't leave. Okay. But remember, if I go, you go.
Listen to your heart. Don't let it quit on you. Uncontrolled high blood pressure could lead to stroke, heart attack, or death. Get yours to a healthy range before it's too late.
When I was a child, I lived in the times where the unicorns wandered and the fairy rings glowed. The world wasn't scary, the games were all fun, and it wasn't till later I learned how to run. I've lived in the city, I've lived in the country, I've lived in the woods, and I've lived on the sea. Something I found all my years moving around. Wherever I'm living, there'll always be me. When I got a bit older, the world got much colder. I started to think that to move on was good. Well, I ran and I flew and I tripped and I slid. I found that to move was just something I did. I lived in the city, I lived in the country, I lived in the woods, and I lived on the sea. Something I found all my years moving round. Wherever I'm living, there'll always be me. Now that I'm older, I sit on my porch in my rocker right down in the woods by the sea. Well, it's right in the country, not far from the city, but it's home and it's here and it's just right for me. I lived in the city, I lived in the country, I lived in the woods, and I lived on the sea. Something I found all my years moving round. Wherever I'm living, there'll always be me.
That was delightful.
Thank you.
That was delightful. We have Larry and Leslie Latour. Thank you guys so much for being in the studio today.
Glad to be here.
That was a lovely tune. I loved the lyrics, the music, and the way that your voices harmonized together.
That's our favorite part, the harmony.
Yeah. Can you tell they're married? I don't know. You're doing a great job. That's great. You've been singing together for 15 years now?
About that, yeah. 15 years.
Yep.
Yeah, we met singing.
You met singing?
We met in a folk group called Generations.
Wow.
And it was called Generations because there was somebody who was 40.
That was a while
Somebody who was
ago,
50,
yeah.
somebody who was 60, somebody who was 70.
Wow.
And the 70-year-old is now 90 and in Missouri.
Wow.
And I'd love to sing with her. She's probably going to see this. So
Yeah.
I'd love to sing with her again.
Wave hi.
Hi, Kathy.
Wow. So you guys started really young. I know, Leslie, your family kept you immersed in music.
I started singing. I was the youngest of 4 kids and started singing Beatles harmonies. And there was always only one left, so I had to figure out what it was. So that's my favorite thing to do, is find
your parents
harmonies.
sang with the Seegers.
Yeah.
So there's a pedigree there.
Yep.
They stand-up bass and mandolin and the whole
all
bit.
musicians.
Yeah, all
They're
the
still all
50s folk
musicians.
stuff.
All the brothers are
How
musicians.
about that?
Yep.
And you, Larry, how did you get started?
Just playing in college.
Yeah.
Playing a lot in college and doing a lot of the 60s and 70s folk and pop tunes. And,
Sure.
And finding God with folk music with schooners on the Maine coast.
Yeah.
You know about the
I
Maine
bet.
coast.
Yeah. You guys are
finding all the Gordon
newly
Bach
planted here
Yes, we are.
in the Verde Valley from Maine all the way.
Yep.
Beautiful songs.
What impressed you upon the Verde Valley that you wanted to move here?
Well, we looked for places for about 5 years, and everywhere we looked, kept falling through until we found a nice little place looking out on the desert here, and it went through like that.
We're right
and
on the
Larry's
side
got family here, and so
the Bureau of Land Management.
Very
We're
nice.
right on the side looking out to nothing. You can't see a thing at night, not even lights.
No more ice and snow.
No more ice and snow.
Oh, good for you guys.
Yeah.
Good for you guys.
Chiseling 7 inches of ice last year. I said, remind me when I'm complaining that it's too hot.
There you go.
Yeah, that's right. That's
Well,
right.
we are truly blessed to have you in the Verde Valley, so thank you so much.
And when we got here on December 24th, 2 days later, I think 2 or 3 days later, there was a snowstorm. Remember?
Oh, the New Year's Eve massive snow.
We brought it.
You brought,
We brought it.
I enjoyed
We
that.
brought it in
I
our
thought
car.
That was great. That was great.
It was great, wasn't it?
You guys have been playing together out in the public at farmers markets, coffee houses, special events, parties.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And you're going to do the same thing here.
Yep.
Yep.
We're playing Studio B on August 13th. Please come out and
Next
see us. We're
Thursday.
going to be doing a bunch of original tunes.
Doors open
Right.
at 6:30.
And then
Show
you're
is at
doing-
7.
Right.
And
then,
we're doing farmers markets, the Talakapaki
Next
market,
Friday.
Yep.
and the Camp Verde market.
Right.
And we're going to do Chandra Jefferson's series at in Oak Creek. What is that called? The Center for Positive Living.
In the fall.
Right.
Yeah.
You probably,
Wonderful.
viewers here probably know her.
Yeah.
She's a real mover and shaker
Oh,
in the
yeah.
area.
Absolutely. Well, good for you guys. You're jumping in with both feet.
Oh, and we have to mention the Thanks a Latte
Yeah, that's
open
where we
mic
met
in
everybody
Camp
to get
Verde.
started to do
It's
music.
musicians
Monday
heaven.
nights.
Wow.
Every Monday night
a lot of fun.
at in Camp Verde.
They're open mic. That's
Great musicians. and
Nice.
just great
That's
community.
Wonderful. That's great. Well, you guys write a lot of your own music. In fact, you have 2 original CDs out.
Yep.
And then you have a CD with Guthrie-styled folk music.
Yes, that was Generations. That was the one that we did about 15 years ago. Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
That's great.
I had
We
one
do.
before that, and then we put a CD together called That's Life.
That's Life. Yeah.
Should we
And that
mention our
song-
website?
Sure, please do.
It's
It's a hard one.
No, it's Larry and Leslie Latour.com. L-A-R-R-Y-A-N-D.
There you go.
Leslie Latour.com.
Yep. There are videos, all kinds of music
Nice.
there.
It's a beautiful website.
Some of the stuff
Yeah.
that we've written.
Yeah,
and-
It's a lot of fun.
definitely. What inspires your lyrics? I mean, that last song was beautiful.
That
'cause
first- that
I know
first-
about unicorns.
Well,
and
yeah.
I have
When
no idea what
everything was
inspires
safe.
That
and-
was that was our theme song for Generations. I think that was coming of age song of it didn't matter where I went or what I did or how, if I lived in the woods or in the city, and I probably have to add desert to that now, I guess,
Right.
somehow. But that I, wherever you go, there you are, and that song just came flowing out.
Nice.
During that period of time where I was really learning to sing and to be part of a music community.
Yeah, it was truly beautiful. And Larry, your guitar playing is so smooth and so beautiful, and I really appreciate it, even despite the fact that you have a little shake.
Oh, you saw the shake. Essential tremor for those of you. It's not Parkinson's, it's essential tremor.
Right.
Lots of people have it. and
That's true.
Lots of people take drugs to fix it.
Yeah, but you play so
so,
well,
yeah.
you'd never even know.
You do if I'm nervous. But
Oh,
you
yeah.
have made this so delightful. I'm not
Make
nervous.
everybody so nervous.
There you go.
Now, the next song that you guys are going to play is also an original, correct?
Yep.
What's this one called?
Away, Love, Away.
Ooh.
I wrote this on board a boat.
Boat song.
I was on a little skiff in a harbor with about 11 of these big 90-foot schooners, and the fog was sitting over the top, and it made me start thinking about what people 100 years ago thought about this type of thing. So that's what this
Being
song
on a widow's
is about.
walk or something like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, good. I'm excited to hear it. So everyone check out the website, LarryandLeslieLatour.com. Beautiful website, information there. It talks about their CDs. You can listen to their music, see what's going on, their tour schedule. It's really, really awesome. Thank you guys so much for coming into the studio and sharing your music with us.
Thanks for having us.
Really appreciate it. And thank you all very much for watching the Verde Valley Experience. If you've missed any of it, you can check out VerdeValleyTV.com. We've got it there. Also, you can always get it on YouTube as well. So we'll see you next time. Thank you so much.
It's dark before morning, the stars are fading, watching the sun break the night. So deathly quiet, there's beauty awaiting, away, away, mist away. The mist on the water surrounding the rocks, on the shoreline out into the bay. The waves gently lapping on sleeping boats waiting, away, away, nights away, 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 nights away. Captain sits dreaming of an evening red sky, a proverb of sailors in the sea. Feeling inside said that he'll be believing, away, 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 red sky away. My love's on the dock side with tears streaming eyes, hoping for a glimpse over the bay. Her lover is standing on deck in the morning, away, away, love away, 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 love away, 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 love away. Oh, the sun it is shining, the night it is still. Oh, the wind it is rising, the sails they're filled. With the mountains behind us, we are sailing away. I'll be back with you to hold you, I say. Oh, away, 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 love away, 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 love away. It's dark before morning, the stars are shining, watching the sun break the night.